I now call this special meeting of the Board of Education to order at 5:30 p.m. Would you please call the roll?
Ms. Pearson?
Present.
Ms. Chavez? Ms. McCall?
Present.
Ms. Bennett?
Here.
Mr. Carpenter?
Here.
Ms. Haley?
Here.
Ms. Stanford?
Here.
With 6 present, 1 absent, we have a quorum.
Thank you. We will now take a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. As we start each meeting, it's important to remember that the mission of Rockford Public Schools is to collaboratively engage all students in an equitable first-class education for a changing world. And before we go any further, we'd like to thank Kim Pedersen and Aaron Hill, who are working behind the scenes to produce the board's broadcast via YouTube live stream and Comcast Channel 20. We're moving on to item 2A of the agenda, which is the REA Collective Bargaining Agreement. May I have a motion and a second to approve item 2A, the REA Collective Bargaining Agreement?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Thank you. I did want to take a moment to first, I want to thank our teachers for continuing to provide for our students throughout this process. I also want to thank the REA bargaining team for their fierce advocacy on behalf of their members. I also want to recognize our students and families who I know have been under increased stress due to this process, and especially our high school seniors and students involved in athletics and other extracurricular activities. I also want to recognize our non-certified staff who we're preparing to provide for transportation, food, and safe spaces for our students in the event of non-educational days, oftentimes while still wanting to support their certified coworkers. I also want to thank our board members for your continued engagement, especially early on in this process as we work through the parameters to best value our teachers within the district's financial realities, and for your continued engagement and commitment to this process. I also want to especially thank our negotiating team for their time and commitment to negotiating within the parameters provided by the board. If there's no other discussion, I would ask to please call the roll.
Ms. Pearson?
Yes.
Ms. Chavez?
Yes.
Ms. McCall?
Yes.
Ms. Bennett?
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
Ms. Haley?
Yes.
Ms. Stanford?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much, everyone. Moving on to item 3, which is the petitions and communications portion of our meeting, where we invite the public to make comments. Slurs, profanity, and harassment will not be tolerated. If any speakers use unacceptable language, they may be directed to immediately surrender the remainder of their time and may be restricted from public comment in the future. The board policy that governs public speaking is Board Policy 2.230, which states that at each regular and special open meeting, the members of the public and district employees may comment on or ask questions of the board subject to reasonable constraints and for a total period of time not to exceed 30 minutes. The individuals appearing before the board are expected to follow these guidelines. Number 1, address the board only at the appropriate time, as indicated on the agenda and when recognized by the board president. Number 2, identify himself or herself by name and address, optional. Ordinarily, such comments shall be limited to 3 minutes. However, at the start of the public participation period of the meeting, the board president may shorten public comment to conserve time and give the maximum number of individuals an opportunity to speak. Number 3, conduct oneself with respect and civility towards others and otherwise abide by Board Policy 8.30, which is visitors to and conduct on school property. Number 4, requirements for the public comment section are that it's limited to 30 minutes. No person may speak more than 3 minutes, and speakers may not yield their time to other individuals. Requests for speaking time must be submitted on designated cards and turned in to designated staff. Cards will be accepted until 10 minutes prior to the scheduled beginning of the meeting. Person must indicate on the card the issue they intend to address and whether they will speak for or against the issue. The speaker order will be determined by subject and order of cards received. The same issue may not be addressed a second time until the opposite side on that subject has been heard. No subject may be spoken on a second time until all subjects have been addressed at least one time. And the person speaking is responsible to limit comments to the issue indicated on their card or be declared out of order by the board president, which requires the speaker to lose the remainder of their time. The board president shall have the authority to determine procedural matters regarding public participation not otherwise defined in board policy, and the board will not respond to comments at the time of the board meeting. Comments requiring a response shall be the responsibility of the superintendent. Petitions or written communication to the board shall be presented to the board at next scheduled meeting. To ensure compliance with fire and safety regulations, following rules will be enforced: that all members of the audience shall remain seated during the meeting except when recognized to address the Board of Education, and 2, when all public seating is exhausted, no further visitors will be allowed to enter the meeting room. There is a clock to your left. There's 2 digital clocks. One shows the total time and one shows the time for each speaker. It's also not appropriate to discuss matters that would otherwise be confidential in open meetings. Thank you for your cooperation with the guidelines. The speaker we have tonight is Ryan Pearson.
I apologize if this is a little all over. I didn't plan on speaking tonight, but good evening, Dr. Jarrett and the board members, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak. As a first grade teacher, I teach my students to speak out for what they feel is right and letting their voice be heard, even if it's not always the easy thing to do, which is why I am here tonight. As a first-year teacher, I am saddened by the new contract, along with over 200 other new teachers. This year, we received $0 in retro pay. In fact, we're not even seeking retro pay. We started the school year with a 2024-2025 contract. While I advocate for my colleagues to have their retro pay, new teachers should have started with a 2025-26 contract, not a 2024-25 contract. And we should not have to pay the price because the REA dropped the ball on that. This was not our mess to clean up. Earlier this week, when I planned to drop my REA membership to compensate for the $0 of retro pay, I was met with hostility by our REA leadership. Even though my dues were paid, I was removed from the Facebook page by our president. Ultimately, I was told if I asked my questions in person at the REA office, security would be called and I would be removed from the premises. While I'm extremely thankful for the many hours that your negotiating team as well as the REA's negotiating team have spent on this, I am deeply saddened by this news. I will say that I am glad the strike is not happening. I love teaching, I love being in the classroom, and I am thankful that I am able to do so and feel blessed because of that. Thank you.
All right, if there is no further motion or further business before the board, I will take a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you all. We'll see you on Tuesday at Auburn for Committee of the Whole.